Hey there, it's Karen. I haven't done an update in a little bit, or at least I was doing them all the time, and I haven't. So I wanted to give you a quick update during this time of the coronavirus and tell you some positives that I have discovered on my WW journey when we're all going through this craziness that's our new normal. I wanted to see if you guys thought the same thing, or if maybe if you have some other positives you wanted to add, that would be great. But I'll give you a quick update. I am sitting outside a library right now in my community. I haven't been doing a lot of the driving videos because guess what? We can't drive anywhere, right? But today I'm out because they have a drive-through. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you can. I don't know. There's a car behind me. A drive-through, which when we moved here, and we used to live here, but it's been a long time, and we moved back, I went, are you kidding? They have a drive-through? So, holy cow, I started using it. I mean, I need the exercise. I should get out of my car and go into the libraries. But now they have a drive-through. And I'm sure some of yours have drive-throughs too. But anyway, they've closed all the libraries, of course, but they still allow you to check out things online, and then you can come by and pick it up in the drive-through. So I just picked up a book. I'll just show it to you. I don't know if any of you have read it, called The Butterfly Girl. It's for my book club. I don't know if any of you have read it. I don't know anything about it. But I thought, hey, I need it. Our book club canceled last night, and we have another meeting in April, so I'm going to think positive thoughts that we're going to be able to get together. So I need to read the book. So anyway, so I'm here. I'm running to the post office. I'm not looking forward to that because I think that's a germ fest. I've always thought that, no matter what. But it's better than the UPS store. If you've watched my UPS rants, oh my gosh. And I'm just complaining about the UPS store near me, not other UPS stores. But anyway, I do have my little wipes here because I'm going to use them when I go in and when I come out of the post office, but I have to mail this package for my daughter. So I said I would do that. I might try to go to the grocery store. We all probably are grimacing when we do that, although I have found here there's a grocery store somewhat near me that's almost like normal, almost. So I kind of like going there, but that's not near where I am right now, so I might go to another one that I usually really like, but I think it's going to be a little crazy. So that's what I'm doing today. Last week on WW, I was not the best on the plan. I can't say I've fallen off the wagon completely because I have days where I am on point. No pun intended, but I'm doing good and feeling good. And then something happens and I kind of get, off track. Which is an excuse. But I think our life is just, all of our lives are just kind of trying to adjust to this new normal. For those of you who've watched any of my videos or follow me on Instagram, I have a daughter in college in Texas and I live here in Arizona. So last week we made the decision to move her out of her dorm in Texas, but and get her car here for now, even though she's not driving it anywhere. But she has an internship this summer. Cross my fingers, it's still going to happen, but who knows. But she needs her car here anyway, hopefully, for the summer. So we wanted to get that and load it up and bring stuff here. Of course, all three of us, my husband, myself, and my daughter, could not go and fit her stuff in the car. So my husband went. They jumped on a 6 a.m. flight to Dallas, and it was empty almost. He said maybe 10 people were on there. They drove to the campus, loaded up her dorm, saw one person, and loaded up her dorm. I was renting a storage facility for them online and over the phone. They took some trips to the storage facility, loaded her car up, and started the drive back on the same day. And they drove to Amarillo, and then the next day they drove from Amarillo back here. So a 16-hour drive, plus moving her out. It was nuts. It was nuts. So I was worried about them because all along the reason we did this is we thought the school was going to close. And they had not announced they were going to do online for the rest of the semester, but almost every other college out there was doing that. Well, we were hearing some of the colleges were giving kids 24, 48 hours to move out. And living here while all her stuff is there, and with my husband's work schedule, all that, we could not do that if they gave us 24 hours. We just couldn't. And we were worried about the flights being grounded, all that kind of stuff. So we made that decision. It was a good decision because the next day they did announce they were going online, and people only had 2 weeks to set up an appointment to move their kids out. And they were deactivating their ID cards that could get them in and out of the dorm. It was chaos for a while. The school has since changed that stance because a lot of people are in places where there's shelter in place and they can't leave to go move their kids out. So they adjusted. I mean, I'm not blaming the school at all because, you know, as you know, this stuff changes hour by hour. It's crazy. So anyway, we are just glad she's here. All of her stuff that she needs is here. Her car is here, even though it's just sitting in our garage. That's okay. So we're just glad we have it done. And she started classes yesterday. So she's taking classes out of her home. And my husband now is working from home. So you can imagine our lives are a little different than they were just a couple of weeks ago. So we're all trying to adjust to that. But there's some big positives that have come out of this. And I think I might start driving while we talk about this. But some positives that have come out for me, for WW, in the midst of all this kind of chaos is the fact that I am cooking more. And I'm not one to not cook anyway, but I am one who cooks kind of as a means to an end because I need to have dinner. I'm not one who cooks to relieve stress or anything like that, or just loves it, and I wish I was, and maybe I will be at the end of this quarantine period, but it's making us cook even more, and for me, it's making me plan even more, which is fantastic for WW and me, so that's really good. It's also making me realize what foods we really need in our house, because when you go to the store and things are wiped out, it really makes you think about what you really want to have in your pantry or in your refrigerator or freezer. For instance, before I left today to come out, I threw some chicken into a crock pot, and I'm sure some of you have probably done this a million times. It's the easiest thing ever. Chicken, I put boneless, skinless chicken breast, and then I put like 8 to 16 ounces of picante sauce and an ounce of taco seasoning. That's it. Mix it all together, and it's super easy. And then you can shred the chicken, you know, when it's all done. And you have chicken for chicken tacos or salads or whatever. And it's really good. And it smells your house. It smells your house. It makes your house smell so good, I guess is what I should say. Here I am at the post office. So, you know, wish me luck here. But I will talk a little bit more. So that's a positive that, you know, I was trying to tell you what the positive was with that. I'm trying to decide what this car is trying to do behind me. Not sure what he's trying to do. Anyway, what's making me realize is that, okay, that was the end of our chicken. And we had this conversation over the weekend, the three of us, my daughter, my husband, and I. And I said, okay, this is, you know, we have enough chicken to do these chicken tacos. Do you guys want me to do that this weekend? We won't have any more chicken left, and we're having a really hard time finding chicken. And they were like, oh, you know, they really like the chicken tacos. And they're like, let's just wait. And so tonight's the night we're going to do it. But it made me realize we really love chicken. We use chicken a lot. And we can't find it. So my husband and I happened to be at the grocery store over the weekend. And we were looking for chicken. Of course, it wasn't there. And he found some drumsticks that are really good, but they have skin on them and everything. And he's like, oh, we could put these in like the crock pot. And I'm like, yeah, we could. And he said, that's so unhealthy. And I'm like, yeah, it is. So we both looked at each other and we're like, that's not something we need in the house. Someone else probably could use this and, you know, not have any consequences. We would. So, I mean, it's really making me focus on what foods we need to have in our house. And I mean, I kind of knew that, but when we've been so spoiled by getting whatever we want, now it's a little bit harder. For instance, eggs were incredibly difficult to find. And we found some over the weekend, and all three of us were like so excited. And now, if you had ever asked us, would we be excited that we could buy eggs? No, we wouldn't, because it's just expected that we could find eggs. But now we found eggs, and we're like, oh, this is going to be great. So we have eggs now, so we're fine food-wise, but, we like fresh fruit and vegetables and, and that kind of thing. So, it's almost impossible to find Low Point bread. Luckily, I have one loaf left in my freezer. I froze it to keep, so that's good. But it really makes you think what kind of food you want in your kitchen, so I think that's a positive. I've done a lot more reading, which is great. I think that's a positive because I'm at home. I'm not getting distracted by going to do other things with friends or just going out or shopping or whatever, because that's just not happening. Are you seeing all the cars in front of me? There's a ton of cars. I mean, a ton. But behind me, you still are seeing cars. I always say, every time I go somewhere, I'm not going anywhere much. It's like the grocery store. I went to Walgreens one time, and I was just at the library in here, and people are just out and about. There's nothing going on. But I don't know. I do think some people just like to get out in their cars and go out and see other things, which I totally get. But anyway, so that's a positive. The fact that I get to spend more time with my husband and daughter, huge positive. I know some of you might say that's a positive, but it can turn negative pretty easily. So I'm just trying to give them their space. My husband's taken over my office, and he's in there with doors closed all day. My daughter is trying to do online courses. She just started doing it yesterday, but she was able to find a cute desk online, really inexpensive, and she set it up and put it in her room. It looks darling, and I mean, we're so lucky that she's home with us and that we have space to do something like that. So that's a real positive for me. So, the fact that they're there also is positive just for my mental health, which helps me on WW, because if they weren't there, like my daughter was still at college, I'd be very worried right now. So that's a positive. I'm getting out more walking, just because that's something to do, but that's really good for WW. I'm walking our neighborhood because it's pretty open. It's not congested at all, and it's really pretty views. I'm sure it's going to start getting hot, soon here in Arizona, but right now it's gorgeous. This is the time of the year everyone wants to be here. Spring training, which is all canceled, but it's gorgeous right now. But it'll start getting warm, so that's going to change things up. But that's all right. We'll figure something else out. But that's positive, So there's a lot of positives happening. I just have to remind myself of them. And I'm one of those people that's more like the glass is half full than half empty. And gosh, it can be so easy to fall into the negativity going on right now. I will only watch the news once a day, because if I had it on all day, I'd want to go bury my head in the sand, I think, because, man, if you listen to that all day, the world is falling apart, and I'm not trying to lessen the severity of this, but holy cow, it can really, I can see where this can lead people to depression and all sorts of things. So I want the facts. I want to know what's going on, but I don't need to hear it all day long, over and over and over. And that's a whole other thing. I just want the facts. I don't want this skewed one way or the other, politics-wise, and that's really hard to find, which is so frustrating because people are getting so angry and people handle the stress differently. I get it. But if you're on social media, that's the one thing I'm thinking I'm going to do, is limit my social media, because on Facebook, people are stuck in their homes. They're getting upset about politics, both sides. And so they are just typing this stuff in big, bold letters, which is shouting. It's like whatever comes to their mind, it goes out on Facebook. And it's like, really? This can't be good for you. I mean, I was like wondering about their blood pressure, but plus, thanks so much for dumping that on everyone else, So I'm thinking of limiting my social media. I really am, which I like social media, but right now it's not good. Maybe I just have the wrong friends on Facebook, but one thing I do love, I have to say, is my Instagram, my www.after50. love it because I make sure that is for WW. And I have a different Instagram, but I find that I'm never on it anymore because I love my WW one because everyone is focused on the positives for the most part. And it's talking about, you know, I post a lot of stuff like what I'm eating, tips, that kind of thing. And so do other people that I follow. So when I get online, it's not all this gloom and doom. It's just day to day, what we all need to kind of keep going on WW, right? So I really like that. So I'll probably stay doing that. But I'd love to hear from you, hear what you're finding are positives or negatives that are going on. Because I think there are some positives. And you know, this too will end. It will. And it's just a matter of getting through it and trying to find the positives in it because they are there. And I'm determined that this is not going to wreck WW for me. It's all up here in my mind, totally up here in my mind. And I need to work with that and say, what can I do to make sure I stay on track and I don't go completely bonkers on it? If nothing else, it's okay to maintain. You know, I'm not going to beat myself up if I'm just maintaining. To me right now, that could be a big success, not to gain, just to be able to maintain. So love to hear from you. Hope that helps someone else out there. Hope you guys are doing well, and we will get through this. We will, absolutely, and we'll just be stronger because of it. Talk to you soon.